everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull Central. We're going to be doing a movie review for you today. The Predator. The Predator, not to be confused with Predator. Predator 2, Predators. No, this is the Predator. This is the definitive one. This is the one that finally gets the formula right, which is, by the way, not true. Spoiler alert. Before we get rolling, like this video, subscribe to Jeff Bull Central. Do it right now, or I will use my heat vision and my shoulder-mounted laser blaster and punk you up. I'll get you. So the wife and I checked out The Predator yesterday. I kind of expected it to be okay, pretty good. I'm not the hugest fan of the Predator series, but I'm not a fan. The original Predator movie is a pretty classic action film. And I actually did really like the last Predator movie, Predators, which was helmed by Robert Rodriguez, who's a totally capable filmmaker, and I've loved his movies for a really long time. And I felt like Predators, from a few years ago, had a lot of mystery and a lot of ambiance, and it kind of recaptured some of the scariness of the original. And you know, like, I don't mind ultra-violence in movies. I kind of really don't. But I do mind when it's not in service to story. When it's just there to impress me with the shade of the color of the blood and the guts and how realistic and all the creative ways that people can die. That kind of turns me off. And it turns into a cartoon. It turns into an R-rated Bugs Bunny cartoon. And that's kind of what The Predator is. It was written and directed by Shane Black, and Shane Black has a really, really long history with the Predator series. He's one of the architects of the entire series. So I figured if he's back in charge of it, that it would actually turn out pretty well and pretty faithful to what I like about the original Predator movie, but not so much. The original Predator is a pretty classic 80s movie. It had a sense of ambiance and a sense of horror. Ambience, by the way, is not a word often associated with Schwarzenegger movies. It kind of sounds like a fragrance. Ambiance by Schwarzenegger. You know, this movie, The Predator, it's a big dumb Hollywood cartoon. They just turned it into a big dumb nonsense Hollywood cartoon, and I don't even think I will remember this movie 2, 3, 4 years from now. It won't even cross my mind, and that's kind of a shame. There's a lot of bad junk in the Predator series, especially when you like combine it with the Alien Predator thing, which those two movies were dumb as hell. The Predator seems to think that violence equals tension, that comedy paired with violence is a good combo, and it can be, but not when you make it a cartoon. Not when you're just senselessly slaughtering people and you toss off the one-liner and then you tell me some stupid nonsense, silly sci-fi plot point that doesn't even make sense. You know, the main hero in this movie, he hooks up with like a ragtag team of crazy soldiers. And a lot of the banter that they have together is pretty funny. Shane Black is kind of the master at that. Shane Black has engineered some of the best, had a hand in engineering some of the best action movies of the last 30 years. And so I kind of expected it to be better than it is. But again, it's hammy. Like, it's a total cartoon. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's become a parody of itself, like Fonzie jumping the shark. And so there's just certain things about it that really, really turn me off. For instance, the main character, he's got a son with Asperger's disease, yeah? And it's a real life thing. It's a real thing that people really have to deal with. And Shane Black seems to think it's a superpower. And you know, the kid is able to decode the Predator's language and also kill people and also toss off the one-liners. It's ridiculous. You know, the cast is not star-studded, and that's fine. It's just that they're not hyper-talented anyway, and they don't really have much of a script or much of a story to work with. There is a super predator, which is like, this guy is like twice the size of a predator, and he should be intimidating, kind of not. There's a bunch of predator dogs. There's kind of a cool scene in like a Little League baseball park with the predator dogs. I mean, it's not that the whole movie is a wash, but it's a cartoon. It's a parody, and you really, I don't think should waste your time with it. I don't mind violence in movies. I really don't. But I want it to serve story. And I don't want it to be just some stupid joke. Just some stupid testosterone, chauvinist nonsense for 13-year-old boys. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe I have too lofty a memory of the original Predator movie, because it definitely has all that nonsense in it too. But this is a bad example. This is a Hollywood filmmaker, a Hollywood studio, spending 2 seconds on a story and 2 years and millions of dollars on special effects. This is like the worst dregs that Hollywood can come up with. I say completely avoid it. And that's all I can really say about it. Don't see this movie. Jeff Bull Central gives The Predator, the definitive one, a 5 out of 10, which is a really, really low score, and maybe it's even a little generous. Rotten Tomatoes has it at like 38%, and I completely concur with Rotten Tomatoes. Don't waste your time with this one, folks. If you gotta watch a Predator movie, watch Predators from a few years ago. I actually did like that movie. You know, these aren't Laurence Olivier. These aren't Lawrence of Arabia. These aren't Shakespeare. But if you're in the mood for a good action movie, don't go to The Predator. Blah. Blah. Threw up in my mouth a little. That's about it, everybody. Until next time, you know what? Like, subscribe. Don't be a super predator and hunt my spleen. I'm gonna leave it there. Bye. And hey, if you're interested, you can also check out my new book, Brave New Multiversa Collection. It's twisted, science fiction, fantasy, horror. It's dark. Crazy. Love it.